research question is this: how did the Medici family rebuild power in Florence after 1494 by combining financial networks, political institutions, and cultural legitimacy through patronage?
After the Medici family explosion in 1494, they regained and secured power in Florence by mobilizing financial networks, reshaping political institutions, and using artistic patronage to manufacture public legitimacy and make their rule durable.
To explain this process, we analyze Medici restoration through three perspectives: financial networks, political institutions, and cultural legitimacy. Together, these three perspectives reveal how power was rebuilt and made durable. After exile, Medici no longer ruled Florence directly, but they had not lost everything. The first perspective is financial networks. The Medici lost office, but they did not lose the networks that kept power alive. Even after the Medicis were expelled, their influence did not simply disappear. Their wealth, reputation, credit relations, and elite connections continued to matter. Their return became possible because they could reconnect these financial relationships with the changing balance of power in Florence and beyond. Our financial perspective is supported by Francesco Guicciardini's History of Italy, which helps explain how political outcomes in this period depended on alliances, papal influence, war financing, and elite networks. Secondary historians such as Richard Goldwait and Raymond de Roover also show how the Medici banking world was built through credit, business practice, and long-distance connections. What matters here is that finance meant more than money. It meant access, it meant relationships, it meant the ability to preserve influence even in exile. So, the Medici comeback did not begin with formal office. It began with the survival of networks that could later support political restoration.
The second perspective is political institutions. After 1494, Florence wasn't just a city in transition. It's a battlefield of competing political wills. While various models of government were debated by elite, the central question always remained the same: who would hold the ultimate power? But we must understand that raw influence is fragile. For power to become truly durable, it must be embedded into very architecture of the state. When the Medici family returned, they didn't simply walk back into their old rules. They realized that they secured their future. They had to re-engineer their institutional apparatus of Florence so that power would remain in their hands permanently. They did not just return the city, they captured the system.
Ha 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 ha. They all obey us, Medici family. Ha ha ha.
Our primary source, Francesco Guicciardini's Dialogue on the Government of Florence, is vital here because it detects the elite logic of power. Guicciardini provides a rare, insider's view of how institutional design was used as a tool to stabilize control and manage the inherent instability of Florence Republic. This is further supported by the works of Niccolo Machiavelli, whose Florentine histories explain the mechanics of factional power. Machiavelli shows us how the Medici successfully masked their absolute power behind the traditional facade of Republican councils. It was a quiet coup, where the names of the offices stayed the same, but the source of power shifted the entirely Medici family.
Take this money. You are my politician. You have to say this, okay? This is our tax. Praise us. We are Medici. Come on. Let's do this.
Yes, my master.
The family of Medici helped us a lot. The greatest Medici.
They think they have a democracy. We are the best.
Ultimately, this perspective proves that Medici power was not a single event or a lucky break. It was a rigorous, calculated process of institutional consolidation. They turned a fragmented republic into a centralized engine of the Medici power, ensuring that their rule was not just accepted, but officially and structurally inevitable.
Financial networks preserved influence. Political institutions reshaped authority, but power alone was not enough. It had to be accepted. This acceptance did not emerge automatically. It was constructed. In Florence, power became durable only when it was seen as legitimate by the people. We can see this most clearly not from rulers, but from ordinary experience. Landucci, a Florentine apothecary, recorded daily events as they unfolded. His diary captures not political theory, but lived reality. His observations reveal a city filled with uncertainty, fear, and constant change. In such moments, authority was not judged only by power, but by its ability to restore order. What people accepted as legitimate began to shift. This is where culture became critical. As Peter Berg explains, meaning in Renaissance society was produced through shared practices, rituals, and visible behaviors. Power was not only exercised, it was interpreted. This process was not random, it was structured. Patronage created networks of obligation and exchange, linking with cultural production directly to authority. Through these networks, influence could be organized and sustained. For the Medici, this was not accidental. They actively used artistic patronage and public display to shape how their rule was perceived. Through patronage and visibility, they made their rule acceptable to the people. Cultural legitimacy was deliberately constructed to make their power durable. When we return to Landucci, this becomes clear. His writing reflects not only events, but a transformation in what people were willing to accept. In a city shaped by instability, the promise of order became persuasive. And through culture, that order becomes visible. Power is not secured when it is taken, it is secured when it is believed. And in Florence, the Medici made power believable.
They preserved influence through financial networks that kept their power alive, even after exile.
They stabilized authority through political institutions that returned into lasting control.
And they made power acceptable through culture, using art and legitimacy to make rule feel natural.